Okay, let's unpack this. We are diving deep today into, well, one of the biggest, fiercest e-commerce battles anywhere in the world. We're talking Amazon versus Flipkart in India.
Yeah, and it's not just, selling stuff online. This is really a huge strategic fight for what everyone calls a gold mine. I mean, the potential user base is over 1 billion people. It's massive.
Huge shakes. You've got the global giant Amazon clashing with Flipkart, the homegrown player that arguably just gets the local market better.
Exactly. They understand the complexities there, perhaps more intimately.
So here's the mission for you listening. Our sources are suggesting that by 2025, Flipkart, the local company, have actually pulled way ahead of Amazon. How? How did that happen? We need to dig into the strategy, the operations, the money. What led to this really significant market shift?
Right. And to really grasp how big this shift is, you kind of have to go back to the beginning. Flipkart started in 2007, Sachin and Binny Bansal.
And the kicker is, they both used to work at Amazon, didn't they?
That's the irony. They learned the ropes there, maybe saw what was missing for India, and then started Flipkart. Very modestly, too, like an online bookstore out of a 2-bedroom apartment.
Wow. So learning from the future rival right from day one, then jump forward to 2013, Amazon makes its official entry into India.
And they didn't just dip their toes in, they came in heavy. Jeff Bezos basically committed, an estimated $10 billion? The goal was pure dominance, fast.
Yeah, the famous blank check approach. They pushed Amazon Prime really hard, linking it with Prime Video,
Yeah.
music, trying to lock in those urban consumers.
And look, initially, that massive spending worked. It really put the pressure on. By 2018, the market was almost perfectly split. The numbers were like Flipkart at 31.9%, Amazon right behind at 31.2%, neck and neck.
Just gridlocked. But there's some important context here about the rules of the game in India, right?
Yeah, that's a really key point. Historically, the Indian government had regulations, restrictions on foreign direct investment, especially in B2C e-commerce.
And that 30% local sourcing rule for foreign companies.
Exactly. So that environment gave homegrown companies like Flipkart a bit of a protective barrier initially. It wasn't a level playing field from the start.
A barrier that maybe helped them hold on until the big game changer arrived.
Which was?
2018. Walmart steps in.
Right. A massive $16 billion investment acquiring a major stake in Flipkart.
And that wasn't just about the money, though the money was huge, obviously. It let Flipkart match Amazon's spending, but it also brought in Walmart's, global retail know-how, supply chains, inventory management,
Yeah.
stuff Flipkart was still figuring out.
Absolutely. Deep retail expertise. They just couldn't have built that quickly on their own. And the impact, you see it immediately in the numbers. That alliance just, boom, catapulted Flipkart.
So what happened to that deadlock?
Gone. By 2021, Flipkart wasn't just ahead. It was dominating. They commanded 48% of the market.
48%.
And Amazon.
Down to 26%. A huge gap opened up. That market share difference is really the story, isn't it? Especially when you look at revenues. The revenue figures were actually pretty close. Flipkart around, 43,000 crore rupees? Amazon about 42,000 crore.
You're very close on revenue. But that massive market share lead for Flipkart, it tells you something important.
It suggests they're, doing more with less?
Nah.
Better operational leverage?
Exactly. They're using their assets more efficiently, reaching a broader base, probably more value-conscious consumers, too.
Okay, let's talk about where they often clash head-on. The big sales events. Flipkart's Big Billion Days versus Amazon's Great Indian Festival.
Right, the festive season battleground, right? Now, the data here is interesting. Amazon actually shows higher retention, around 35%.
Which makes sense, right? Loyal Prime members, probably more urban, sticking around.
Exactly. Prime loyalty is real. But Flipkart played a different game. Their retention might have been lower, maybe 25%, but during those sales, they pulled in a much larger volume of new customers.
So acquisition over retention during those peak periods.
Yeah, expanding their base, pushing into those tier 2, tier 3 cities where maybe Prime isn't quite as sticky.
Okay, so that expansion relies heavily on trust, especially outside the big metros. How do they build that?
This goes back to one of Flipkart's foundational moves. You have to remember, early on, the biggest hurdle wasn't really competition, it was trust. People just didn't trust online payments, putting card details online. Very hesitant.
And Flipkart's solution was?
Cash on delivery, COD. They pioneered this in 2010.
Wow, that early.
Yeah. And it wasn't just a payment option. It was psychologically brilliant for the Indian context. You see the product, you hold it, then you pay. That plus easy returns just blew the doors open for them.
A fundamental trust builder. And still relevant, it seems.
Absolutely. I mean, digital payments are huge now. UPI is the top preference, about 36.7% according to surveys. But COD still accounts for 23.3%. That early reputation for understanding payment concerns really stuck.
So that understanding versus Amazon's more global approach, you see it in loyalty programs too.
Definitely. Amazon leverages that global brand trust. Prime is about the whole ecosystem, fast delivery, sure, but also video, music.
The bundle.
Right. Flipkart Plus is much more focused on the immediate transaction. Free, fast delivery, early access to sales. But the really local touch is Plus coins.
Explain those.
You earn them by buying stuff, then redeem them for discounts or benefits. It's a very direct, tangible reward system, feels very localized, resonates with that value-seeking customer.
Value seems to be a recurring theme. Does that extend to the look and feel of the platforms, the UI?
It does, yeah. Amazon has its standard global interface. Clean, familiar, maybe seen as trustworthy because it's the same everywhere.
It's predictable.
Exactly. Flipkart, though, they lean into the local vibe. Lots of language options, more colors, feels more vibrant, maybe a bit more chaotic to a Western eye. But crucially, the homepage is just plastered with deals, promotions, banners.
Because promotions drive decisions.
Hugely. Over 80% of buying decisions in this market are swayed by promotions, according to the sources. So Flipkart's design is basically optimized for finding that deal, for impulse buys.
And this strategy is mirrored in what they actually sell most.
Spot on. Flipkart dominates the high-volume, high-frequency categories. Electronics, they have about 34% share there. And clothing and apparel, 26.7%.
And the fashion dominance wasn't accidental, was it?
Not at all. Pure strategy. They bought Myntra in 2014, then Jabong in 2016.
Right, two huge online fashion retailers.
Yeah, they basically consolidated the online fashion market. That move gave Flipkart over 60% share in fashion e-commerce. So if you're young, shopping on your mobile, which is Flipkart's core audience, where are you going for clothes? You're likely going to Flipkart or Myntra.
Okay, brilliant strategy, understanding the customer. But none of that works if you can't actually get the product to the person reliably. Let's talk logistics.
The engine room, absolutely. And this is arguably where Flipkart built its most significant sustainable advantage, with eCart.
Their own logistics arm.
Exactly. Amazon uses its Fulfillment by Amazon, FBA. It's efficient, especially for Prime in big cities, centralized. But Flipkart built eCart from the ground up. It's an end-to-end in-house service. Much harder to do, but gives them incredible control.
Why is that end-to-end control so vital in India?
Several reasons. Quality control's one, but the big one is reliability for cash on delivery. When it's your own delivery person handling the final cash transaction, you cut out third-party risks, reduce potential fraud. It builds trust.
And lets them reach places others can't reliably service.
Precisely. They can confidently deliver to remote areas where infrastructure might be patchy because they own the whole process.
And this isn't just brute force logistics. There's tech involved.
Oh, definitely. Their whole network, fulfillment centers, sorting centers, delivery hubs, it's all integrated with tech. It allows them to be much leaner.
Leaner how? Talk about things like JIT.
Right. So just-in-time inventory means stock arrives basically right when it's needed, reduces warehousing costs, frees up capital, less cash tied up sitting on shelves.
Makes sense. And VMI.
Vendor-managed inventory. This is clever. It means some suppliers actually manage their own stock levels inside Flipkart's warehouses.
So Flipkart outsources some of that inventory risk and management.
Yeah, it's a partnership that optimizes space and reduces Flipkart's operational load. They also use tech for things like smart shelving, even climate control for specific products. This operational efficiency is a big part of how they achieve that high market share, even with slightly lower overall revenue than Amazon.
And at the delivery end, more tech.
For sure. Road optimization algorithms to make deliveries faster and more efficient. And services like Flipkart, quick promising, 90-minute delivery in some big cities, that's a huge draw for customers.
Incredible speed. But, okay, even with all this tech in control, things still go wrong, right? What are the main complaints?
Yeah, it's a complex market. The number one issue, according to surveys, is still late delivery. Over 28% of shoppers reported experiencing that.
Still the top frustration.
Followed by poor product quality, about 22%, and then products just not being available, around 20%. So challenges remain for both platforms.
But it seems Flipkart might be managing expectations slightly better. You mentioned trust signals earlier.
Right, like On product accuracy, how well the product matches the description, 91.4% of users rated Flipkart highly on that. That's a massive trust indicator when you're buying online.
Okay, so let's look forward. The future stakes. What's the overall consumer verdict by 2025?
It's pretty decisive, based on the surveys. Flipkart is the clear favorite. 56.7% of shoppers prefer it.
Compared to Amazon's?
23.3%, big gap.
And does this preference track with their target audience?
Perfectly. Remember that young, mobile-first demographic? Well, 86.7% of surveyed users are between 18 and 34 years old. It shows that focus on value, mobile experience, and fashion is really hitting the mark with that core group.
And the perception of value holds up.
Seems so. Nearly half, 46% of users, perceive Flipkart as being cheaper than Amazon. That value platform image is powerful, especially when promotions drive so many purchases.
So this dominant position, backed by Walmart,
Mm-hmm.
what's the big financial play now?
The IPO, a huge one. Flipkart is gearing up for an initial public offering in 2025, and the target valuation is massive, somewhere between $60 billion and $70 billion.
Wow. And there's a crucial structural move happening alongside this IPO prep, isn't there? This reverse flipping.
Yes, exactly. That's key. They're moving their holding company, the main corporate entity, from Singapore back to India.
Why do that?
It aligns the corporate structure with their actual operations, which are overwhelmingly in India. And crucially, it helps them navigate the regulatory landscape for listing on an Indian stock exchange, avoids hurdles foreign incorporated companies might face.
So it's not just a financial move, it's almost political.
Yeah.
A statement of being truly Indian.
You could definitely see it that way. It completes that localization journey they started way back with cash on delivery. It's the ultimate signal of playing and winning the local game.
Right. So, pulling it all together, what's the main takeaway here for you, the listener? Flipkart's success seems like a powerful blueprint for how to win in a complex emerging market.
Absolutely. It wasn't about copying a global giant. It was this blend of, well, aggressive funding, thanks to Walmart, deep, long-term investment in building their own logistics, like e-cart, and combining all that with a relentlessly hyper-local strategy, understanding the Indian consumer's unique needs, from payments to language to value perception.
They prioritized India, not a global template.
Exactly. Which leads us to that final provocative thought for you to mull over. We mentioned those early government regulations limits on foreign investment, the local sourcing rules.
Right, the protective moat.
So the question is, Flipkart's clearly leading now. They're even re-domiciling back to India for this massive IPO. How much of this incredible success comes down purely to their brilliant localization strategy and execution? And how much was perhaps helped or even enabled by that initial regulatory environment that made it tougher for a global player like Amazon to just come in and dominate from day one?
Strategy versus circumstance, or a bit of both. Something definitely to think about as this epic battle continues.